Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Leanne Sanders. RCMP Major Crimes has charged 2 people in a man's death in Onion Lake that dates back to July 1st, 2022. 46-year-old Abdu Grayman was found seriously injured inside a camper in Onion Lake. He later died in hospital. 21-year-old Dennis Cardinal from Onion Lake and 30-year-old Kimberly Thunderchild from Lloydminster are each charged with 1 count of first-degree murder. They made their first court appearances today in Lloydminster Provincial Court. Downtown improvements in Lloydminster were up for discussion at this week's City Council meeting. Added in March of last year, the Downtown Facade and Building Improvement Program has since awarded almost $70,000 to local businesses. Discussions at Council were centered around adding more back alley lights in the city.
That will come back to Council for formal approval regarding back alley lighting, which was identified this past year very clearly from multiple business owners and operators, renters downtown.
The amendments also include the addition of a mural where Council is looking for potential artists to come forward.
There is some work being done, a fund being created for an actual mural development downtown on private property. So if someone's interested, I would encourage them to reach out to our economic development team, and they'll be better than glad to provide those details once that becomes an approved by Council.
The amendments will return to Council for a vote this upcoming Monday. With the snow and cold finally here, snowmobile dealerships might expect an increase in sales due to pent-up demand. But according to the manager of a local motorsports store, it's actually the other way around. Steve Cassidy of Boundary Motorsports says they experienced a slight increase in sales for mountain sleds, but sales of some, such as prairie-ridden snowmobiles, did not meet their expectations.
Yeah, they have been a little bit down this year, just considering, it's complete circumstances out of our control when it comes to the lack of snow and whatnot.
He says despite slow sales, he's still looking forward to an increase, especially with warm weather coming up next week.
Yeah, I expect more people to be out. I couldn't blame people the last week not coming here. It wasn't that busy because obviously, when we're getting to minus 50 of the wind chill, not a lot of people are going to even really want to go outside, let alone having their vehicles start and stuff like that. So I definitely expect an increase of people coming in and checking out what we got coming in for the season. And yeah, it should be exciting.
Local artists and music lovers will soon have the opportunity to perform their talents live or listen to other bands and artists in the area. Our Callum Hawker with more.
I'm joined by Amanda Block, a member of the Lloydminster Regional Theatre Foundation, talking about the Vic Juba Lloyd Local Series that is coming up. Amanda, thank you so much for your time today. How are you doing?
You're so welcome. I'm happy to be here and I'm doing well, thanks.
So what is the Lloyd Local Series?
The Lloydminster Regional Theatre Foundation is sponsoring the Lloyd Local Series, which is a series of 3 evenings provided to showcase local artists and performers. We want to celebrate local culture and offer a platform for individuals to share their creative expressions. We know it can be very costly to do so and maybe tricky to find a way to do that. So we want to provide affordable access for artists so that they can gain some exposure and some recognition, and so that emerging artists can build connections within the local creative scene.
What will be playing?
What will be playing will be dependent on who applies. Applications are currently being accepted. They will be reviewed, and then people will be invited to perform in their specific genre, whatever that would be. We do have dates that are coming up. The 3 dates that are currently available are Wednesday, March 27th, Friday, May 10th, and Friday, June 21st. And there will be some fall dates to be announced also. All of those will be at the Vic Juba Community Theatre.
How do artists sign up and how do people get tickets for the event?
So applications can be made anytime at the website vicjubatheatre.ca. We are looking for artists with some artistic excellence, a high degree of skill in their respective discipline, and a proven track record of actively engaging in the community.
Is this the first year that Vic Juba is putting this event on?
It is the first year, and we are looking forward to more in the future. Like I said, there will be some fall dates also to be announced, and we're very excited to see what kind of artistic, creative events will come our way for those 3 dates, and how we will be entertained.
And focusing on the Regional Theatre Foundation, Amanda, what is the purpose of the Lloydminster Regional Theatre Foundation?
So the Lloydminster Regional Theatre Foundation is a registered charity, and as such, it can take donations for projects at the theatre. Currently, we are raising money, we're fundraising for backstage renovations and for automated stage lighting.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Amanda.
You're so welcome.
Thomas Wildman joins me now to talk about the weather. Thomas, the wind is making for some very chilly conditions outside.
Yeah, it's just lovely out there right now, and we'll look here pretty quickly about how the weather. We had such a nice December, but now into January, as we all know, and I know all of my local friends around here, well, in all of Canada and Alberta and Saskatchewan right now, are absolutely loving this weather for calving cows, and they're dealing with that just tough conditions, hopefully keeping as many of their calves' ears as nice as possible, as well as everybody else, making sure you wear toques throughout the rest of this week. As we can see, compared to the normals today, we are plenty colder than we usually are. -20 compared to a -9 as a high, -27 compared to the normal of -20. Not a lot of snow, though, which is a little bit different for usual January. Today we're only at 0.3. Precipitation 19.0 is usually where we're about at this point in January. For the current conditions right now, we're sitting at that -20 number right now, so it is the warmest part of the day, but with that wind chill, we're all the way down to -30, about a 71% humidity, so still a little bit dry out there, but still got a little bit of that moisture that we're looking for. Elsewhere in North Battleford, a little bit further east, it's -19, so a little bit warmer and not as chilly with the wind sitting at -26. And then closer here to home in Cold Lake, they're also sitting at basically the same temperature, -19, -26, a little bit more humid over there in Cold Lake, though. Now taking a look at the current temperatures in the region, we'll go a little bit further north there to looking at, and a little bit west. Bonneville sitting at -20, just like Cold Lake. St. Paul at a cooler -21. Lakeland at -19. We go further west, and Vegreville are one of our coldest places here today, -23. Edmonton at -20. Wainwright at -23, and Provost at -22. Joining them at -22 down in Saskatchewan is Lakeland. Maidstone sitting at -21. North Battleford, as mentioned, is at -20. St. Walburg and Meadow Lake sitting at that -20, Pierceland at -19, Green Lake at -20, and Aldercross also sitting at a cool -21. And taking a look at tonight's forecast, we're going to be sitting there at that -27 bit. It's going to be clear to partly cloudy and very cold if you are doing anything late tonight, such as going to a hockey game like some of us are. It's going to be needing toques and mitts throughout the entire evening. Elsewhere, North Battleford is going to be even colder at -28. Same conditions, partly cloudy and very clouds. Not a lot of hiding out there in Saskatchewan. And in Cold Lake, they're going to be the coldest of all of us here late at -29. Clear and very cold there, and a 25% chance for snow out in Cold Lake. But now we'll take a look at your upcoming 3 days here. Thursday, it's going to be -21 and -26. That is going to be the coldest day here of the week. As we get closer to the weekend, it's going to be nice and a little bit warmer at -19, low of -23. And Saturday is going to be -14 with a low of -18. A great start to your weekend. We'll see a bit more sun out there, though still plenty of clouds. But that is going to do it for our first look at weather. We will have some more news headlines after the break.
The Lloydminster Bobcats are in a heated standings race as only 1 point separates 6th and 9th place, so every game matters to try and gain a favorable playoff position. The Bobcats this past weekend grabbed a crucial victory over the Calgary Canucks, who are currently tied for 8th and with the club, and bested them earlier this month.
Big win over the weekend. I was proud of the boys. We were really connected as a team, and yeah, it was a super huge win for us to get those 2 points. So yeah, it was good overall.
The Bobcats have also added a few new players to the fold early in 2024, signing local goaltender Hayden Hyde and acquiring Aidan LaRose from the Drumheller Dragons.
First game against Calgary, I thought he was real good. He's a big man that can protect pucks and make plays. And obviously Hyder being a local kid here, he played his first game against Canmore on a road trip and showed very well, getting his first win. So for us, I think it's just a matter of, getting players situated and then just letting them do their thing.
The Bobcats have a 2-game homestand this weekend where they'll play the Fort McMurray Oil Barons. The Lakeland men's basketball team is preparing for a top 2 showdown this weekend as they host the Keano Huskies. Our Ben Lowe on has more.
The Lakeland men's basketball team's biggest test of the season comes this weekend as they play the #1 Keano Huskies. The Rustlers have had a strong season so far with a 9-3 record and big wins over Briarcrest and Nate. Head coach Sheree Thomas knows what his team has to improve on before this weekend.
1, 2, 3, go. It's rebounding. We need to rebound. They're taller and really athletic at all positions. So we really need to focus on boxing out and possibly getting on transition.
Along with their play, the home court advantage plays a big part in the team's success. The team holds a 5-1 record on their home floor, which they hope to improve this weekend.
We're definitely going to need it. Y'all come out because that energy that the crowd brings on defense, it's it can shatter the other team. And also on the offensive end, when you make a big play, it's nice to hear the crowd roar.
No matter the result, this weekend is a learning opportunity for the team as they continue the second half of conference play.
I mean, we have a tough second half. I think 5 of our next 7 games are against nationally ranked opponents. Some of them are away, some are at home. So each game, each practice is about getting better and keep on raising that bar. And I think if we do that, we'll be okay.
The first tip-off is Friday at 8 p.m. with the second game the following day at 3. For Primetime Local News, I'm Ben Lowan.
Time now to take a look at all of the pet pictures you've been sharing with us for our Pets of the Day.
We want to see your pets. Send photos of your pet and their name to have them featured on Pet of the Day.
Stephanie Dobson is back with us once again. Stephanie is a familiar face to our viewers. She is a lawyer, mediator, and online educator with Hankett Divorce Law and Mediation offices in Lloydminster and Edmonton. Stephanie, thanks so much for joining us again this week.
Yeah, thanks again for having me as usual, Stacey.
January is International Divorce Month, and we spoke a little bit about this last week. So we're going to continue the conversation this week. Stephanie, what are we focusing on today?
So we're going to focus, another word for January is International Child-Centered Divorce Month. And so this really speaks to my heart because, we really always, whenever I work with families and most divorce professionals work with families, we always want to talk about how do we keep the focus on the children and make sure that they're at the center rather than in the middle of a separation or divorce. So I really like talking about this Child-Centered Divorce Month as opposed to just International Divorce Month.
Well, let's get right into it, Stephanie. So what does that mean when you use the term child-centered?
Well, a child-centered divorce is an approach that places the well-being of the children at the forefront of the dissolution process. So as I said, in the center as opposed to in the middle. This approach acknowledges that children can be deeply affected by their parents' separation, and we want to minimize the impact of divorce on their physical and emotional health. A child-centered divorce recognizes that children need love, stability, and reassurance during these challenging times to provide a supportive environment for them as they go forward in this tumultuous world that they don't really know what's going to happen.
So what are some of those strategies when going through this process, Stephanie?
Well, when preparing for today's child-centered divorce episode, I came up with 5 strategies. So we'll go through those now. So the first strategy is open communication. So that is essential between parents. And if parents can provide an open communication between themselves, as well as an open and honest dialogue between them and their children, that helps to allow children to express their feelings, emotions, and questions about the divorce, and reassuring the kids that they can talk about the anything that they need to with respect to the divorce. So number 2, co-parenting cooperation. So co-parenting, of course, plays a crucial role in any separation or divorce. And the more that parents can work together to create a supportive and consistent environment for their children, despite the challenges that they may be facing, can be really helpful. So we've talked in previous episodes about developing a co-parenting plan. So that would encompass things like visitation schedules, communication guidelines, and decision-making responsibilities to make sure that the well-being of the children is taken care of. So number 3, emotional support. Children, of course, experience a wide range of emotions, and we want to encourage them to express those emotions. Sometimes we need to help them with professional assistance. Number 4, stability and routine. So last week we talked about that a little bit as you're starting to embark on your separation. So we want to try to create a good routine that provides them with a consistent living environment, school schedule, keep on going with their extracurricular activities to help the children feel grounded and secure during this transition. And number 5 is empowerment through involvement. So involving kids in age-appropriate discussions can empower them and help them to feel a sense of control during this tumultuous time. Encouraging kids to share their input on certain decisions is great. Their new living space, their extracurricular activities, because we know that there are so many decisions that the kids don't have any input on.
Stephanie, what are some of the benefits of child-centered separation and divorce?
Well, I think that the word child-centered divorce really speaks for itself, but some of the benefits are really numerous. So by prioritizing the well-being of children, parents can foster resilience, emotional intelligence, and a sense of security in their children as they navigate the changes brought about by the divorce. And this does lay a foundation for healthy co-parenting, for healthy children as you go ahead, and can really minimize the long-term emotional and psychological impact of separation and divorce on the children.
All right, Stephanie. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate the information. And just one more time, if people are looking for a way to find you and track you down, and we've talked about the platform that you have for online learning, where can they find this all in one place?
Yeah, so if you go to Henka Divorce, HENKA divorce.ca, you'll find both information on our services as well as information on our e-learning platform, which if you want to go to it directly, it's called upanotchlearning.com, or call our office at 780-875-2234.
All right, thanks so much for joining us again this week, Stephanie.
Yeah, thanks, Stacy.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery, downtown Lloydminster.
Today I'm here with Jacqueline Weed with Big Brothers Big Sisters, and we're here today to talk about a National Mentoring Month, which is this month, January. And to start, what do both the mentor and the mentee gain from being in the program?
When somebody volunteers as a mentor, they can learn just as many new things as the mentee can. It helps them to fill their time in a fulfilling way. They get to have fun, right? They get to be a kid again. So now that we have some snow, they get to do the winter things that, sledding and skating and that kind of stuff. But it's also just as simple as playing board games or, going for a walk. It's building a friendship between the two parties. And so the mentee, the benefit is it helps to improve their self-esteem and their self-confidence. And it gives them something to look forward to, somebody who is just their own person to spend time with, an additional positive role model.
You recently had a post on Facebook regarding an open call for your board of directors. Can you speak a little more on that?
Yeah, so as a part of Mentoring Month, we are governed by a board of directors. members from our community who help to shape the direction that our agency goes in. And so our board of directors meet 10 months out of the year, once a month. So if anyone is interested, we are looking for some new board members. If anyone is interested, they can just contact our executive director, Brenda Robinson, and she can give them the information about that.
I'd like to touch on the statistics of Big Brothers Big Sisters as we enter the new year. How have things been going?
So we do have 34 kids on the wait list. We have families that join all the time, so that number fluctuates. We had, I believe, 5 new matches this year, which is fantastic. And we had some close as well. Like it's a cycle, right? Some open, some close, but it was a really fantastic year. We had a lot of support from the community. We were able to get our in-school mentoring program up and running again, full tilt since COVID. Last year, we kind of slowly started, and this year we were able to get really rolling again. So it's nice to get those mentoring programs up and running and just on a consistent basis.
Lastly, what is planned for the rest of the year?
So National Pizza Day will be February 9th. So we're just figuring out which restaurants are going to participate. But on that day, any restaurant that's participating will donate $1 from every pizza sold to support our mentoring programs. So we will, as the month progresses, we will let people know which restaurants to go to. They may have a favorite that they like to go to, and hopefully they're one of the ones that are participating. But you know, you could have pizza for lunch and for supper if you really wanted to. So if you could try some new places. And then in April, we will have Poutine Week again. Again, same thing, different restaurants, and they donate $3 from every poutine sold to the restaurant. We may have a new fundraiser coming in May, and then we're busy in the summer doing fundraising for different events like bartending and designated driving and that kind of stuff. So all of that helps to support the mentoring programs that we do. So helps us to have the money to create new matches and to support the matches and the waitlist programs that we do throughout the year. We've had a great year. We're looking forward to creating more of those impactful, meaningful friendships. And I would encourage anyone, if you're wondering what it's like to be a mentor, you could come and have a chat with us. It's super easy. The process is super easy, and I think you won't regret making a big difference.
That's everything that I had. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk about this, Jacqueline.
A viewer has captured what appears to be a meteor streaking very low across the sky over Lloydminster early today. Paul S. lives in the area of the Home Hardware Building Center. He tells us he heard about the meteor this morning and decided to check his Nest doorbell cam. He had indeed captured a bright flash. It may be part of what the American Meteor Society says is the Quadrantids meteor shower, which typically peaks in early to mid-January. And Thomas, sadly, Canada is saying goodbye to one of its favorite stars. They announced that Pascal Siakam is leaving, and kind of a big trade that they made.
Well, it's basically an end of an era for all Raptors fans. You know, we were a very competitive team for a few years after the 2019 win, and Pascal Siakam was a part of that team, and so it's the GM of the time, his name has escaped me, but he's making some changes and is moving on. Hopefully Scotty Barnes gets to stick around as a good, high-quality young player, but the 3 first-round picks we're getting out of the deal, as well as a few players, will hopefully be able to set up the next year, hopefully, and the Raptors will be able to build towards being a championship team once again.
Yeah, something to look forward to. That's all we have for you tonight. Thanks for joining us. Have a great evening.